Pioneers of Esports podcast. Get ready.
This is Tim Hanson. That's Mallory Hanson. This is Linda. This is Chris. This month is the 5th anniversary of the 2015 Nintendo World Championship qualifiers. And since we're all stuck in quarantine hell right now, I thought we'd all just have a nice chat and maybe do a watch back of the Disney XD show, kind of do a commentary over it, and then we'll just kind of talk about what was it like 5 years ago, because I'll just kind of say I've been to Iowa 3 times since 2015 because of this guy that I'm looking at right now. And that was one side effect I did not anticipate when we got into this thing.
Well, we had never been to Ohio until as well, so.
Yep, see?
True. Never been to Ohio.
One 4-letter boring state traded for another. It's all. So
many vowels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
4 letters, 3 syllables. So many vowels.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah. It's true. I don't know. I don't even know anything funny to add to that, because it's just a plain fact. So if you want to watch along with us, you can find this on Dailymotion. If you search Disney XD Nintendo, it'll come up. But for copyright reasons and not wanting to be under the legal thumb of Mickey Mouse or Nintendo or whatever else, I'm trying to keep. I don't want to put the video actually on this. But
you mean this isn't airing on Disney Plus?
No, this isn't. We don't have the cool little bratty. Not cool. That we'll talk about the host kid afterwards. Wonder where he ended up 5 years later. So I'm going to hit play right now. Hopefully the sound doesn't come through the thing too much. So you guys are playing on yours too?
I don't hear it. Nope, I don't hear it on
playing?
your guys's. I just put play on ours.
Okay.
You did? Okay, good. So here's Jesse. And here's the that's the crowd. Did you go out and see the crowd before, like
I did.
in the morning?
So when I walked around the side of the building, I was walking with Cosmo, and like hearing everybody like cheering and yelling, I was like, "Oh, this is cool!" And then realizing they weren't cheering and yelling because they had no idea who I was.
Oh, that was all about.
But yeah, I was massive.
I went out and like at 7 in the morning, because we were on Eastern time, so we were up early, and there were a couple people like waiting in line already, and it was stupid LA heat. So I went ahead and like went out and talked to them for a bit and gave my bottle of water, because they were just like stuck in the heat waiting for tickets. And I tried to make friends. I did okay, I guess. But now they're showing the 1990 clip. I think that's the sad part, is they didn't bring Thor or Jeff on stage to let us talk to them. Oh, this is my favorite part, I think. The
Oh yeah, our Reservoir Dog walk.
Opening. And freaking Aaron's, he was next to me doing this crazy.
Your faces. I love how serious you are.
They told us to be super serious.
But then Aaron Hanson's all like, "Ugh."
We walked this like 5 times.
Oh yeah, they had to redo it over and over again. Put the tall guys in the back. Hey, look, there's me. Packy! There's Timsy. And I think they got these mixed up with the player introductions. I don't think they realized that I was a qualifier. They didn't like say I was. I don't know. It was because I talked about my league so much that maybe they thought I was an invitee. Oh, there's
Yeah. No, they had you first, and then they introduced Packy and everybody else. Aaron's
There's the stage. There we all are. I did an OH real quick. They didn't catch on camera there.
I love all the blurred out hat logos.
Oh yeah, I was gonna wear my hat, and they told me not to, but you guys did anyway, and all they did was blur it out.
Yeah, that's what they said. They're like, you can wear your hats, just nothing like major offensive or anything like that.
They blur out the Nintendo logo on the stage. They don't blur out the NWC logo. They blur out the Nintendo logo.
Really?
No, the Nintendo
Oh, yeah.
logo's
There it is.
The far
they're
left
only
ones,
the one,
yeah.
on the sides. That's so
That's
weird.
really strange.
contract lawyers.
Stage 1.
There
I
was
wonder if
Kevin-
it's like maybe like an algorithm they have or something like auto blur out.
I don't even remember. Mal, what did they? Not that anybody cares. What did we do beforehand? Because we weren't outside with all that crowd.
No, well, I mean,
They brought us in.
they brought us in, and we got in first. Like, because remember we were just sitting in an empty, like, arena
in the
for a long time,
auditorium. Right. Okay.
and so we just
But
sat
then we
forever.
could buy shirts. So when people started coming in, we had to go out and buy shirts.
Yeah, they wouldn't let us buy them first, so we had to like go back out, and it was like a total panic buy. I was like, I didn't even know there were shirts, and it was a disaster. But yeah, we just hung out for a long time.
Right. They were like, okay, y'all sit right here in these 2 rows
Oh, mini wheat.
for half an hour
Yep.
until everybody else comes in.
So
Motion
Splatoon.
controls.
Motion controls. We
Kenzie.
can get
Oh, hey,
different
they put names on here.
Yeah. You can. There's Jackson.
They're on the thing, but they weren't
Oh,
on the
that would
screen.
have been nice.
And
I had
ironically,
no idea who
this
was
is
who.
the second match because I played first, I think.
Yeah, you did.
So they flipped the order around. There's
Um,
Fern.
so people watching in the auditorium had no idea what player was what or who was doing well. We didn't even know what team was what color.
No, I had people from home watching, texting me, asking who was who during this, and I was like, I don't know.
They did give Sinister some time.
Who was on your team? I don't remember.
Jackson, Sinister, and Cosmo.
Were you orange or blue?
They won. Didn't they?
I think we were orange.
Okay.
It was
Yeah,
our
you're-
game was close. It was 1v1 or 1-on-1, and then we won the last game and barely won.
There's the champ.
Spoilers.
See now
Watch
they're
our
switching. Now they're going back
no.
to your guys' game.
Packy. Oh yes. So our team had no rollers, and this game was new.
Well, and that was the
Yeah.
thing too, is we had to pick our loadouts beforehand,
We didn't
and
know
you
our
had to
team.
pick your
so it worked
personal
like a
preference, and you had no
randomized
idea who
game.
your team was at that time.
Right. So it worked like 4 people picked rollers. So if every team could have had one, but one team had 2, one team had 0.
Yeah,
And especially in the early days, I played the game a little bit just to get myself familiar with it, but we didn't have any rollers, so we couldn't really gain any territory. And I'm not very good. And there's Jovenshire.
well, and we also had motion controls too, right? Like how many people
Yeah.
enjoyed the
And
motion
motion
controls in
control.
Splatoon?
Oh, I didn't realize that's what you were doing.
Yeah, you had to actually tilt the
Yeah,
gamepad.
That round was fairly close, the first round, because we were in the smaller arena. There's Essentia. There's the loser team. But then the second game, the elimination game, they brought out the new map, which is this gigantic freaking
Tower.
there we are talking about we have no rollers. And the other team had 2, so you could tell it was very unbalanced. But you see how much territory there is to. There's Aaron Hanson, no relation to Tim Hanson
Unfortunately.
or Jeff Hanson, the 1990 champion. It's all these damn Hansons.
Or Hanson soda.
Hanson brothers, Umbop.
Gaming's just in the blood. What can I say? Yeah, honestly, in this, rollers are needed. Like, it's almost impossible to win a match without somebody with a roller.
Yeah.
Well, look at the ground they're covering.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, you can't look, and that's what I was doing, trying to.
Look at Chris trying not to swear.
Yeah, I tried really hard not to swear. I think I let one out.
The
What?
whole time I was just watching your face to decide if I should cheer or not. I was like, wait.
Because you couldn't.
Yay!
Oh, they're in the underground.
Oh, they didn't show my six kill combo.
Aw.
That was
That was
your
one of your moments.
That was one of my moments.
Here's BSG's moment.
It is. This was an epic moment.
I mean, this were the only 2 games we knew we were going to play going in, and like under the in the bowels of the Microsoft Theater, everybody was practicing away on their DSs.
Did they actually tell us we were speedrunning this?
Well, and y'all, I mean,
No.
but you didn't know that you were going to have to speed. I mean, you just educated
They just
guess.
said you
No,
were
they
gonna
told
do
us it was level 1.
Oh, level 1 speed run?
Did they tell us that when we got there? I think when we got there, they told us
it was
that.
announced on the internet.
Because see, I don't remember that because I have a map of we had a big laser printer at work and I printed out a giant map and routed everything I could think of they were going to do because I don't think they told us it was a speed run. I think they just told us it was something with Zelda.
They said it was the first person to get to the end of level 1. So I practiced this and I practiced second quest, level 1, just to know.
Okay.
And then TMR gets hosed right there. Like he got stuck between 3 Goryas. So it's me and Mr. Blarney because
So
Jovenshire was just
concentrated.
lost. And he has a half heart left here. They'll show it. And whack.
Ooh.
And I only had 1 left.
That
and I
was
was
probably
behind.
Yelp number 1
Yep.
from me.
And instead of going head forward, I went above. And I knew I could take 1 heart hit, and he hits me there, but that's all. I could take a half damage.
Wow. Oh yeah, that head bobbing.
Yep, I just knew it. And there I am,
Woo!
12 years old again.
There was a lot of screaming coming from our section, even
Yeah.
though they never, ever, ever show us.
No, but you can hear me.
Yep. If you watch the whole video, you can hear her
If
yell.
you watch it, you can hear me yelp 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
There's TMR. I had no business beating
And
him.
I think when TMR went, I think I might have gone, ah! And then when Mr. Blarney went out, I yelped, and then as soon as he killed the dragon, because I think everybody
It was right before
I think everybody was paying attention to Mr. Blarney getting back in.
Right.
And I don't think that the crowd
The
noticed that
announcers-
you killed the dragon.
The announcers were looking
For
at
a
my
minute.
screen. It's
Yeah.
oh wait, where'd that come
Yeah.
from?
So back to that. What was your strat? Did you use the bomb strat?
Yes, I tried to because oh god, blast ball.
Yeah, because
What do you mean the world's greatest game's about to be shown?
doing?
They were because I tried to get the 5th, make the blue Octorok the 5th drop enemy so that it would be more likely to drop, and they were yelling at me for stopping and not going on because it's the 1st or the 5th, but getting that blue Octorok first is annoying.
Yeah.
So I tried for the sake, but it still didn't work. And I also screwed up in the dungeon, but I didn't die. That was the
TMR
most
got it.
successful strat, is to not die.
Don't die. That's your
Did you guys
strategy.
get to practice blast ball
Yes.
beforehand?
Yeah.
We had to sign non-disclosure agreements, and they gave us 15 minutes to play. And I was terrible. And I'm so glad I didn't have to play this.
Were you not allowed to have your phones on in there anyway?
They took
No.
our phones.
How were you gonna
We-
disclose it?
Yeah.
When we
They-
checked in, we
yeah.
went through a metal detector and they took our phones.
And I
We had to
an
put
iPad.
everything in a box.
I wanted to take pictures and stuff the whole time, and they're like, nope. Oh, God. But fortunately, I could take it up backstage. Are we in this first match, or are you in the second?
I must be in the second one because
Okay.
I believe my team was Packy and Jackson.
Yeah, it's
And it's interesting that they have all the invitees playing each other in this one. So they try to keep it even all throughout. So all 6 invitees are playing, and then it's the 6 qualifiers.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Oh,
yeah,
this
'cause
game
it's
was rough.
Trihex, Trihex, Cosmo, and Essentia, and then it's Aaron, Jovenshire, and
Jovenshire gone.
no, yeah, sweater guy, Aaron, and other people.
So they won 3-0, but then I think Aaron survived based off of a save or something, which they had some weird.
Yeah, so that's how Packy survived on our team. Was the person with the most points on the losing team went on, and I think Packy. I had a goal and Packy had 2 assists, and so Packy went on our team.
Then after his match, I'm sitting by myself on his couch way off to the side, and Aaron's sitting next to me. He's
The
like,
Ottoman of Doom.
The Ottoman of Doom. Aaron's like, hey, that's a good Zelda run, man. He was just, he did not have to he was the biggest star of that whole thing, and he didn't have to be nice at all, and he was just.
Oh no, Aaron was
There's the
great.
Ottoman of Doom.
Yep, there I am, but I'm nobody's sitting on it.
Nobody's sitting on it, but that's your poof. There you are.
Oh, there I am.
You just appeared.
There's Packy.
God, we started out so good. Like we scored a goal right away, and then it just went
Blake
downhill.
Jackson.
Yeah, blame. No, wait.
It was Jackson, Mad Mage, and John.
Yeah,
Hart.
they run it back on us.
They were doing strategery over there amongst themselves.
Well,
So
and that's the thing is the game had power ups
There's
that like
Jackson.
nobody understood, and I think at one point they get the power up that ejects us from our mechs, and there's nothing we can do.
yeah,
It's like you have to run back to your mech, and at that point they were already pushing the ball down the field.
yeah.
That it just Blast Ball's a unique game.
Do you own it?
No, God no.
I, mean,
I
it wasn't
refuse
even
to buy
released.
Federation.
They put on Metroid
Federation Force.
Federation Force. Yep.
Yeah,
Then they let Packy survive because he got the goal. I take it.
he got 2
Yeah.
assists and I had a goal, so it was the person with the most points.
My favorite Blast Ball memory was being at E3 and
Oh, we
the,
gotta talk about that afterwards.
the booth girl trying to explain to Jackson and you how to play Blast
Yeah.
Ball.
In our shirts.
And you were like, yeah, we got it.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
here we go.
Oh, here's Timsy's elimination round here.
Mine too.
Oh yeah, right. I forgot there were 4 of you in this.
The worst 5. The worst part about this was the Wii U pad. There's the triggers and then there's the shoulder buttons. I was hitting the trigger to aim up, but that brought up the menu screen. And
Oh right, you guys did that a bunch of times.
Yeah, but a lot of people did.
A lot of people did.
Yeah, I know at one point, like before mine even started, I got somehow in the menu, and I had to like get help to get the heck out of it.
There's Sinister. There's so right away they took it out right as I hit the pause button because I was trying to aim up.
Yeah.
All right, so here's my bit. Watch. I'm stuck at the bottom. I'm frozen, right? And then it killed me, and I had more than a tank of energy left, and
So that bomb it dropped must have done damage to you, even though it shouldn't have.
I don't know the
Huh.
game that well, but I would always assume that once you took it down and it took you down to about a tank left, it takes you down to like 30 and then you get saved. But I had like a tank in 16 after. I don't know. I'm trying to get. I'd like somebody who knows the game that well to.
Yeah, well, I mean,
There-
I'll tell
Other
you,
people said that shouldn't have happened too.
I had never beaten this game. I
Really?
had no idea how to run. I had no idea how to aim sideways like you guys were doing. I was jumping and shooting all my shots. I actually
Sinister.
just beat this game last year for the first time ever.
Wow.
So like
So
to be
Sinister was, when he was at the end because he speed runs because he knows all the shine spark place and stuff, but the lag is so
Yeah.
terrible. If you notice back when he did the shine spark to get out of the first section, he was all the way at the wall, which is not the optimal place to do it. So he tried to do it again, and he couldn't, and his timing was off, and he couldn't space jump, he couldn't wall jump, and he wasn't panicking yet, but I like, you're ahead, dude, just jump regular, and on his stream he was like, I heard the voice of God behind me telling me to be okay. And he ended up
I beat Mother Brain before him, but he got ahead of me in the first room. If you run across the bottom and then hit the wall and jump up with the super jump,
like
you
a baby.
actually clear through the entire first half of the speed run. And so like the moment he did that, he was too far ahead.
Yeah,
but-
Fern was pissed too.
I think when I looked over, or when he won and I put my controller down, I was coming up out of the hole and doing
Yeah.
that last stretch to the ship.
Like about 10 seconds behind.
Yeah.
So
What do we have next? Mario Kart?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm glad I didn't have to play that too.
But 200
Terrible.
cc Mario Kart.
Oh, Luigi face.
I had never actually played 200cc, and I tried it after this, and I was like, nope.
The major difference is you cannot hold gas. You have to brake
You
to
have to
take
brake.
corners.
Mhm.
So it's not. I mean, it changes the complete. It had only been out like a couple months, right? Like the 200. It wasn't out that long. Like
Yeah.
for the upgrade.
I think it came out the same time Splatoon came out.
She's like, oh, it's so fast.
Essentially was eliminating the last one. She had never played Super Metroid, actually. That was Bananas.
Oh, Bananas, sorry.
Yeah, that would have been me. And they did some weird convoluted thing where, again, like all the qualifiers played in their own round and all of the invite
wasn't that one weird too? Because like they took the top 6 players total. So like
top.
Because
it was just top 3.
Was it top 3? Okay.
Yeah, and then one person got out of the underground, and it was through the final. That made the final 4.
Okay. Like, didn't they do the scores between everybody?
Yes,
like,
that's the weird part.
It didn't matter which side or which round you played, and you just still were scored against everybody.
And there was computer players too, so it was really so weird. Like, I don't know what. I guess they sort of made it a little more fair, but
yeah, there were a lot of times in the audience that we had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
And that was one of them, when they were like, when both teams were playing 2 separate things, and then they just picked some random group of people and said they were the winners.
Yeah, you can't. You can't really like watch a Mario Kart race, and that numbers doing that flickery shit. Yep.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
He's like hitting the reverse screen button constantly to like.
He's also paying attention to who's behind him.
Yep.
And he's actually playing the game and not just trying to stumble through it.
Mad Mage killed it though, man.
Some of his strategies were genius.
Yep.
Did they get to choose their characters and their vehicles?
Yes.
They did. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, he Triax like knew all the weight ratios and which wheels to use and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, Numbers too. I've watched Numbers play. He's amazing with Villager. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Aaron, I did it.
There's a moment when he's like first place for a half a second and the crowd goes wild for him.
Aaron?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
no. Man, those interviews afterwards though, just nobody wanted to be there anymore.
No.
I mean, we had a good time taking pictures and shit, but it was like, we're so hungry. They took our food away.
Yeah, and by the time they let us back there.
Yeah, they
were taking everything away.
They gave us lunch, and then we did our dress rehearsal, and then we came back, and there was like a plate full of snacks and stuff, but then we had to go upstairs, and nobody was like super hungry because we're all nervous and shit. And like, then when we get back, when we're starving, they'd taken the food away from our room. If I'd known that, I would have like stuffed a bunch in my pocket or something.
And I just remember that somebody that poor woman was running around trying to find like kale chips and shit.
Yeah,
for us.
the Disney people in the other room.
I forgot about that.
They were like, "Here's 4 cans of Coke and a bag of kale chips." And I scrounged from the crew next door.
There's Numbers. So I kind of figured the previous night that he was going to win. Like, when we were at the bar, that like we played some Mario Party on the DS. I was like, okay, it's a casual Mario Party, and he is just like freaking intense, like staring at his. It's like, if he's like this for Mario Party, he's gonna destroy all of us. There's the board.nintendo.
Well, and then like
All right.
I remember when he had the high score.
Yeah, at the time he had the high score, and
Everybody thought it was fake because it was
Yeah.
so much higher.
He was the only one with 8 digits.
Yeah.
He was at like 11 or 14 or
11.
17 or 11.
Yep.
Yeah. And everybody else was at like 7.
Yep. My high score was not even 5 yet.
Oh man, balloon fight.
Balloon fight on a laggy ass Wii U. Man.
Yeah.
I would have done well, but that would have been so hard.
It's actually not bad if you look at the gamepad.
It's better when you look at the gamepad. I forgot that scene when back during the Zelda race. Everybody's looking at their monitor except me. I'm looking at the gamepad. I was like, that might have helped a bit. She's asking Jackson how to play. I miss him. I gotta meet up with him in person still, and Mr. Blarney in person still.
I get random Snapchats from Jackson like once a week. They're great.
When all this bullshit is over. Aaron was ahead for a while.
I was cheering Aaron on in Balloon Fight so hardcore.
They don't talk to Sinisterness. How did he do, I wonder?
And Jackson, but
I loved watching them play this. This was nail biting.
Yeah.
Where
It was
were
another
you
bad
right
presentation.
now?
I wish they would.
Were you in the back?
Yeah, so the ones that were eliminated went to the back, and there was like 4 TVs, and we were all just sitting around, like a
Shit-talking,
fold-up table,
laughing, having a good time.
and yeah, this, and then one of the moments in the
They're
Mario
back.
Maker, everybody in the back just lost it.
We had so much fun for that.
Yeah,
I wish that they would have like kept the high score on this because it was hard to watch this. Like who's winning? Like you couldn't ever tell.
yeah. Which, I mean, would honestly be pretty tough because, like, you would constantly be having someone, like, typing it and trying
Right.
to update it.
They could do that in they have experienced production staff.
True.
because he
Yeah,
just
so Aaron's like
he
it's like a
just
12,000.
barely missed it. He just barely missed it.
What was the winning score? Do you remember?
Like 12,000.
Yeah, like 14, I think maybe.
I have them written down.
Five incredible gamers.
Yeah,
No.
see, here we go.
Yeah, there we are in the back.
With your one.
Good old Packy. God, I can't believe it's in 5 years.
Yeah. It's hard to believe.
Why were they using the Wii U? Like, the Wii U was old then, right?
No. Which didn't come out till 17?
Yeah.
Well, I know
Splatoon
it
came
wasn't
out the
newest.
day of the qualifiers.
Okay.
that week.
So I guess it was the newest system.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
it had
it's
been for a while though.
Came out in 14.
Really?
Yeah, because when I had learned that I qualified, we actually bought a copy of Splatoon that
Yep.
night so I could practice.
I guess I just feel like we had one for a long time.
I bought one at launch. That's why it failed. Whenever I buy a system at launch, it fails. The 2 systems I bought at launch are a Wii U and a Sega 32X.
Oof.
So I waited for the Switch and it's done well.
But I will always contend that the best game for the Wii U is Lego City Undercover. They use the pad. It's so well done.
And then they did it on
I
Switch.
don't know, I
though,
really
so
love
it's like-
Zombie U.
Oh, see, I haven't played that one, so. But the way they use the pad on Lego City Undercover, they use that as your like cop phone, so you get messages on the note on the pad while you're playing on the screen. Like, it's so cool.
That's
So
cool.
well done.
Yeah, we haven't played that. We'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
And then
I think I bought it in like my mass collection phase.
remember,
It's a good game.
remember Smash
Bane?
Brothers when they announced there was items, you could hear like a boo in the audience.
Wait, what?
When they announced they were going to use items in Smash Brothers, you heard a boo
Oh.
because the hardcore players like to play it without items and stuff.
Yeah.
Didn't matter though.
Well,
the
and
best
at this point,
player
numbers. At this point,
obliterated everybody.
yeah. At this point, numbers was just gonna run with the game, with the
At
tournament.
this point, as a +1 audience member, I was like so like de-stressed and just enjoying it at that point. Like,
Right.
not that I was glad you guys were knocked out, but it was like, okay, now we can just watch.
But again, like it was hard to tell who was who and what was going on
Yeah. Well, and with this here,
because they were using character names and not player names on the screen.
I actually talked to Numbers about this, and he knew how good Trihex and Cosmo were at this game, and so he'll actually tell you he was hunting down Trihex every chance he got.
We asked
Because
him
he
that on
knew
the
how
show.
good
And he said he
Trihex was.
wasn't. So I don't know. But
So who is he? So who is he on here?
Oh, they showed it.
Sheik, or not Sheik, Shulk, sorry. That's one of his mains. The dude from
What color?
it's the blonde-haired boy in
Yellow.
red.
Okay. And
Player 3?
then who's Trihex?
Trihex
Falco?
is Toon Link.
Okay.
Yeah, Numbers mains him and Wii Fit Trainer.
wait till they show the end of the screen. It's like it's 1 and 3. It's a battle for second place.
Yeah.
And I always wondered if he was actually like trying to determine who he wanted to take with him to the finals, but he says that it wasn't the case.
Yeah. Even does the matching finishing.
They show the
Finisher.
points here. Look at this. It's like +2 and everybody's not even got a single point.
So was there a tie?
No. It was I think Trihex had a 0 at this point.
Or they do? Oh, I see. They did more than one match. Okay.
They did 2 rounds. And they did the Kirby 64 small stage. So the knockouts went way up this round. He is so uncool that it becomes cool again, you know? He's so, I love him.
That's true.
I
That
feel
did
like
kind of.
if you watch him, like he's always going after Toon Link. Any chance
Yeah.
he can get, he's right there.
It did kind of look kind of cool when he was like.
Yeah.
Well, and also I think as much of Trihex's recap that we could watch, he said he felt like he was being targeted.
Well, if you think about it from
That's
a
the game. Like,
pro standpoint, right? Like Cosmo wasn't a Mario player. Trihex is. So like the
What's the
smartest move would be to eliminate Trihex.
Did you see that he was just hanging there on the side
yeah, that's the game.
until
He pulled him in.
he could come
baiting
up
him.
until he could like come up and bop somebody.
He baited him, but that's like his only moment. There's bad. Look at that. He's like. He had a 0 score. Like, Number's the only person positive. Everybody else is in the negative. And I thought, like,
I don't know. The fact that you could come out 0 against Numbers is still impressive.
yeah.
I think that's the other thing with me and Smash Brothers is I don't understand the scoring. I don't understand the percentage. I don't understand the negative.
If you get knocked off the screen, you
I
lose
just
a
don't
point.
get it. I just button mash. And then I lose.
My strategy is to hide as much as possible and try and survive. That's all I can do.
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna watch you guys fight over there. I'll just be over here.
Popped it off.
And we all knew this was coming. Like, all of a sudden, the back's like, Mario Maker's the final. It's got to be.
Because didn't it just come? I mean, when did it come out?
It came out that summer.
Uh-oh. Technical difficulties?
Yeah, the mic stand popped off the desk.
Well, the show goes on. This was such a crazy ass great marketing because nobody had seen any of this.
No.
You knew it was we knew it was coming out, but nobody like knew to the extent of what you could do in this game. And just sitting in the back watching all this stuff pop up in real time. I see a elbow. A Malbo. Don't pause it because people are watching and they can, you know.
Okay.
There we go.
We're back. Mario
Yeah,
Maker.
no, we all knew this was coming.
And watching some of the things, we have to address the fact that Cosmo now is Narcissa, so people have different rules about the former name and the current name, so I'll just mention that now. But at the time, there were some things that she wasn't doing, like holding in the button after landing on an enemy to jump further. So I'm just wondering how much Mario experience she had. Was this John's run? No, okay.
No. John chose to go second.
Okay.
Well, or running. Like, she
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
running very much.
Well, I mean, it's pretty clear that she didn't have a lot of experience with Mario because you
Right.
could tell she just did not know the mechanics.
Oh.
Crazy right now to think about how hard that level seemed at the time, like,
Oh yeah.
and now looking at Mario Maker levels now, it's like, wow.
Harder levels.
But see, this is the brilliant part here because he
What
started
is
listening to
going
the
on?
commentators. This is the best part. Here we go.
And didn't he overshoot it the first time?
And then we're like, oh shit. Oh yeah.
TMR is just like laughing in the back. And that's why he picked to go second.
Yep.
Of course, now he's first.
Right. Well, Cosmo ends up taking this second round. But like
Didn't
this
they
part, when
didn't they
it's her turn-
blindfold them so they couldn't see?
Right.
Yes, and headphones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because when the sumo guy jumps, the ground shakes and he can't move.
Oh.
oh man, it's amazing
You
to see
got-
those old mechanics like that with a clown car.
Mm.
What's Jake Gyllenhaal doing there? Sorry.
But then stuff like this.
What?
Yeah.
Some clean jumping.
Ah! Oh God! How did that ghost not get him?
Like this part right here. You hold in the jump button to like. I was in the back like, hold in the jump button, please.
So how much time do they have? Do you remember? Was it 5 minutes?
5 minutes, I think.
Long time.
You got farther. Well.
Yeah.
Cosmo got farther.
I think my favorite reveal was in this Mario World part here.
Yes. I think that was the most hype moment in the back.
That's like that was the WTF of the whole thing of the Mario Maker. And it was so quick too. Like I think, well, they'll show it here in a second. You'll see, but I think they actually have to like slow it down so you don't miss it. Like we saw this. Like, this part was like, this was what the hell.
It's like, what is?
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
No.
Oh, the
Like,
pick the
this
door.
Yes. Yeah, they slowed it down so that you can see because he just immediately was. Cosmo's immediately like, nope. Back through the door.
There's Tim. They didn't block out half the Iowa logo.
Oh, they didn't. Maybe you can tell what it was now.
A half a Hawkeye, is that the eye or that hawk part? Oh boy, John Number faces. That was a cool angle. Yeah. You know, I run my silly little Dr. Mario tournament, and I make everybody stand. And so many comments of chat and on YouTube are like,
Go, go, go.
why do you make them all stand? Like, don't you need chairs? And I'm just thinking, John Numbers is standing on a stage by himself, winning a freaking world title. So you can stand too. Stop. Shut up. Like, I never once thought that I was uncomfortable standing playing any of these things.
No.
Or like if
It's
you're
not like
gonna
you're
stand,
standing for that long.
yeah, if you're standing for 10 minutes, big deal. Yeah, that's. Hey, it was me.
So wait. Now
Now they're doing the head-to-head race in the new Super
Yeah.
Mario Brothers.
So each
Oh,
stage they
but this
won
one
got
has
them
a
10
time advantage?
seconds.
Yes, Numbers got 15 seconds.
15.
Oh, that's right. And then she didn't know how to wall jump.
Yep.
Oh, the wall jumping.
Yeah, I would have done the same thing. I never played these games.
Really?
No. Not the new ones.
Well, and this was a brand new technique to new Super Mario Brothers. Like, wall jumping was not something common knowledge.
Right. Let's say that was the new Super Mario Brothers games, which they're not.
Would have had to play them.
Whoa! I love that going run, run.
Well,
No!
Well, I think he might have thought that you could like what do they call that when you
Damage boost?
Yeah, just like run through it, but they don't that doesn't work.
Not in Mario Maker.
No. Maybe not in the new Super Mario games in general, but you know, old school Mario games, you could just grab the axe and be done with it.
Well, and that was also the point of the bowl of bills on top, was to prevent you from going over. They wanted to force you to fight him.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I bet he got stopped so many times in the airplane with that statue. That thing was heavy.
Not an amiibo, by the way. We checked.
Aw. Right. It would probably crush your gamepad trying to scan it.
Right?
Oh, Miyamoto.
I know.
And his 7-foot-tall interpreter.
You know, that's still one of the hands down the best lunches I've had was eating catering
away
food
from
5
him.
feet away from
Nobody
him.
Had the guts to ask for an autograph or anything or a picture. Oh, sucked.
I think we were all just
He's wearing the
starstruck.
shirt from the badge. The little badges that everybody wanted. That Jackson was schmoozing for.
Oh yeah. He got me a whole bunch of those.
We got ours an old-fashioned way.
Oh yeah, the pins for the Super Mario Maker pins
Yeah, I
from
was getting
E3.
really
Oh, you
tired
guys-
of it,
you're
so I'm
sorry
like,
about that.
Jackson, do your magic.
Yeah, he flirted with one of the girls running the Smash Brothers booth to get us all free pins, so we didn't have to do it ourselves.
He tried to get us a bunch of those like staff goodie bags too, but it didn't work.
Well,
I
we
couldn't do
got
it.
a couple, but by the time we got to that area of E3, like it was already starting to get crowded.
We were only there the one day. You guys were there multiple days, so.
And
No,
we got a
only did one day
couple-
too.
No, we only did one.
Yeah, they only did one day, but they were there longer.
Right,
They
we-
got there
Yeah.
earlier and they stayed later. We
We
had to
left at, like,
leave
early.
1 o'clock.
because we had to go to the at midnight taping.
Right.
Yeah.
Points. But like, so we got a couple, but then he ended up just pre-ordering whatever to
Yeah,
get like the set.
Yeah,
But I think somebody gave us
we got an extra the last one. Yeah.
some at some point.
I have the whole set downstairs still.
Yeah. But yeah, that was because when we got there, like all y'all had been there for a little while and had played a couple things, and it was starting to get busier, and we couldn't. Once we played like one or two things, then there was a huge line for everything.
Well, we didn't know that our badges were VIP badges. I didn't know that. Packy found out like halfway
Yeah.
through. I didn't know at all. Like we could have
Jackson-
gone into the back press area and stuff, but we didn't. So
Yeah,
it's
Jackson and I got there early, and we were waiting in line, and the one guy was like, "Why are you guys waiting?" He's like, "You guys have vendor badges," which means we were actually like Nintendo staff.
yeah, there they are.
So we got to go.
Yeah, I think we got in. We didn't wait in line.
No,
We knew that we could get in early.
Packy. We found out we were in line, and we found out we could get in, and then but we was only like a half hour before the main doors opened or something.
Yeah.
But we didn't even know that they were like VIP type things. We could have gone in like the press room off to the side and stuff, but
Yeah.
it was underwhelming to me. I'm not like Mr. Modern Gaming fan. We walked down. We did like a whole lap around the whole thing.
You know what was cool though was the museum part
Yeah, the video game museum people had a thing over
Yeah.
at the far end, which
with the Pixels cars. Pixels was coming out or had just been out.
Yeah, they were really advertising that hard.
well, somebody had like a Ghostbusters car, and the guy's like, "No pictures until they open." I'm like,
And then there was a bunch of Lego stuff.
"Yeah, there's like a life
scattered around. That was pretty cool.
I don't know. It wasn't.
It was nice to go.
No, I'm glad I went. It's like a bucket list thing, and I guess now that it's probably not going to be a thing anymore, this might be the year that kills it. We could say we went once.
Well, technically, we got to go the last year it wasn't open to the public.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That was the last year it wasn't. You couldn't get a pass without actually being like
right.
an editor or making decisions for the stores. The next year's when they opened it to the public. So we technically got the last year of invitees.
Yeah.
Right.
It was cool. It was
I think the last year
a
all three were
lot,
there.
but it was cool.
Because Microsoft last year just set up in their own theater, and Nintendo still did a booth, but they don't do a presentation. And then
Yeah.
Well, they did their
just-
treehouse last year.
Right. They had that old wall with the Xbox on one side and the Sony on the other side. You could walk in between the two columns, and it was green and blue on either side, and that was what it was. What it was. I'm not like I wasn't like amazed or overblown by it, just because the PS4 out then? No. Right. Okay, so this is like the tail end of the PS3 360 era.
I think PS4 and Xbox One were being shown. Yeah, because Halo Reach was just starting to come out. Because when you walked in, there was that giant Halo Reach statue for Microsoft in the front gates.
Right.
Did we entered some weird back way. Like it was off to the side and like down some stairs and then back up again. I don't know what we did, but it was like a roundabout. So we ended up coming into the hall in like a weird spot.
We saw the Hot Pockets food truck.
Hot Pockets food truck. Yes.
Nice.
It's not a conference without it.
Hot Pockets keep it real.
And there was a drink truck too that was weird.
Oh, they had all kinds of branded.
It wasn't Gatorade, but it was something.
Some weird gamer. Energy drink stuff. There's all kinds of that crap they try to push around,
but the Hot Pockets food truck
was the funniest
bizarre.
damn thing.
You missed that?
I didn't see it.
God dang it.
Yeah, it was around the side. See, that was the thing.
You had to go between two buildings, and there was like a bunch of food trucks in between the two halls, and a couple of them were weird things like Hot Pockets and like just not food trucks. That just
because that was the weird thing. Because like Packy found us, and then we found out we could go in, but then we went like we had to ditch Vince, right?
Yeah. And
then because he didn't have the same pass, and so then we ended up like literally it felt like we were going around the back of the building. It was like garage doors and like in between two like walls and like loading ramps and shit. And I was like, where are we going? We're going to get murdered. Is what's going to happen here.
So, did you tell the whole story with you and Jackson flirting with the ladies to get all the pins? I think you sort of told it. It was just.
So it was Jackson flirting, not me.
No.
But yeah, the three of us, me, Mallory, and Jackson, tried to get all the pins collected. And the worst one was Smash Brothers, because each person had to win to get a pin. And so that means like 3 separate games that we'd have to sit there and play. And so like we ended up on one team, and he just talked the lady into giving us all badges so we could just move on.
Well, the thing that I don't understand was why the booth people didn't realize what your shirts meant.
Exactly.
Like nobody did. Like I was wearing this shirt, and a bunch of people were like, "Oh, that's a really cool shirt." I'm like, "Yeah, it was yesterday," and they just didn't know.
Because y'all were wearing your gold shirts.
Hacky and I got noticed outside.
Right. But the booth people.
They're
why?
Just paid marketing people. They don't know what's going on.
But if you're giving out swag and someone comes up,
they're not actual Nintendo employees, most of them.
I just thought it was a little weird.
Because Fern was talking about how who was it? Was it JC? It was JC or the
JC or Gil maybe.
It was JC or Gil or who was our host?
Eli.
Like pulled him up to do a Mario Maker in front of everybody, and he won his thing and got a pin for doing that. But that was that was different. So that wasn't one of the marketing interns or whoever.
Well, I know, but JC was trying to do the treehouse thing too.
Yeah, like everybody.
I don't know. It just seemed weird. I feel like that's something that like they would have told them, like, hey, you know, we had this thing yesterday.
No.
So if anybody comes up in a T-shirt that's gold. It was like maybe give him a pin or let him get to the front of the line.
Well, the E3 pass were an afterthought. We got them from Best Buy. We didn't get them from
like
Nintendo.
a week before.
Yeah, because we had to change our flight.
Yeah.
Well, didn't Eli though? Wasn't he the one that kind of set it up? Because he was your contact.
Several people probably asked about it, and we got it. But when we actually looked at the badges, because they gave it to us at the show or at the competition, like as we were leaving. Yeah. And they had Best Buy printed on it.
Which I know I asked, I don't remember who I talked to on the phone, but I asked about it.
And you asked.
I don't remember. I mean, it was like one of those, okay, it'd be nice. And we ended up staying at like the shitty hotel by the airport, so we'd have to pay $500 for the
Jerry's
place.
Motel.
Yeah.
Yeah, we changed hotels.
Yeah. I was not paying $500 a night to stay in the Lux.
Although in retrospect, we probably should have stayed at the Lux. The one we stayed at was really sketchy.
We had 3 locks on our doors and bars on the bathroom windows.
The Uber driver dropped us off, and he's like, "Just don't go out at night."
Wow.
See, ours wasn't that bad, but
it was weird. It was like a '60s motel, though. It was, you know, the outside.
It was nice. Like the people were nice. It just was in a really bad neighborhood.
LA's
apparently
weirdly spread out, and what's considered a bad neighborhood is like a lot of the city anymore.
Yeah, and it was only a block off the main drag. Like,
yeah, it was really close.
Yeah, we were out closer to the coast. Like we went
to the airport.
Yeah.
El Segundo, I think that's the name of the town.
Yeah. I just like the weird thing is like the whole like +1 thing was just so weird because y'all left so early in the morning, and then so it was just kind of like,
oh yeah, we had really expensive brunch.
I was so thankful that you texted me. It was like, we're here. What are you doing?
Me and Will and you just hanging out.
I was like, sure, I'll go have at 8:30 a.m.
Yep, having Bloody Marys and.
it's crazy because like in the original, they were all kids, so they had to have their parents with them.
Yeah.
And in 17, it was half kids, so they got to bring their +1s with them. This was like the one time that it was just all business, and like we didn't really fraternize much before the tournament. It was all. It was pretty serious, intense, and weird, and not. It wasn't uncomfortable, but it wasn't like we weren't really like pleased to be there either.
The day before, like that was kind of nice to like all hang out together. That Eli set up in that bar area and stuff. But like after the tournament, they just walked us around to the back of the building, and we just stood there for like an hour.
Oh shit!
Not knowing what was going on. We were outside. It was so funny because fans started coming around the back, and they didn't know who we were, why we were standing there, and like people would come out, and the cars would come and pick them up, and their cars would get swamped by these fans. Like Miyamoto came, like everybody came out.
Yeah.
And like they were getting into cars and being driven away, and like people like going ah, and then there's just this line of like weird people standing there against the wall, like and then J.J. Abrams apparently went into the parking garage across the street.
He was like right there, and a bunch of people were freaking out, and we're just like, what's going on? Who's that?
People that were hanging out at the back of the building all ran across the street to swamp him. And then they came back over because like then Miyamoto was coming out, and they were like ah, and we were just like, are they gonna let us in? Like,
I know, I was just hungry and didn't know what was going on.
Great.
I think my favorite thing though was like when Tim and I we got there really early to the hotel the day before, and I remember sitting there and you two came in, and I remember Tim and I are like, Tim, do you think that's one of them? Do you think that's him? And we like didn't talk to each other at all.
Oh no, hell no.
I was just like, I don't know who these people are, but I think that's one of them.
Well, you know what though? We did the same thing. I did the same thing at least. Like we walked in and saw y'all sitting there. You're sitting on the little couch thing. And I think your hat or something said Iowa. Something said like Iowa.
Probably wearing.
And so when we got up to the counter, I kind of was like, Chris, wasn't one of them from Iowa? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, I think there's on the couch out there. And but like we were gonna go do something, so we were just asking, can we ditch our suitcases? And
right, they wouldn't let us in a room.
They wouldn't let us because they wouldn't let us in the room yet.
And the receptionist needed a headshot and had cleavage down to here.
So
like it's
like,
LA because everybody needs a headshot to even get a McDonald's job out there.
and then my shoe had broken. Do you remember, like, because I was wearing these Mary Janes?
Oh yeah.
And I was wearing these Mary Janes, and the buckle was held on by elastic, and the elastic broke. And so, like, we had to stash our suitcases, but I also needed to get another pair of shoes out of the suitcase first. And so I was just like, I am not in any shape or form, like, prepared to, like, introduce myself to someone who may or may not be who I think they are. So we're just going to do this thing and leave.
Yeah, we were hungry and
We'll find out later if it was them.
Our flight got delayed, but then they put us on a nonstop, and it was all.
They like, my shoe broke in the airport.
Oh yeah, we
And
were
we
like
just-
starving.
We had just paid like $50 for the cab to the
'cause
hotel.
we didn't
Oh yeah.
because we didn't have our card yet. They didn't give us our gift card thing until after we got there.
And my
so,
phone wasn't smart enough to have Uber on it.
I mean, now I know that you can take a bus from they have like charter buses to go to downtown LA. That would have been like $10, but I didn't know that at the time. So whatever, it was fine. But then we went. Is that when we went to that breakfast place?
I think we did that the next morning. I think we did that for actual. Oh no.
No,
I don't know.
Yeah, that's when we went to the breakfast place.
I mean,
to
we
lunch.
still stood in a line.
Right, because it's LA. Everybody stands in line for everything.
That breakfast place was good. And it wasn't
we
like super.
tried to eat at the Lux, and we were apparently not dressed well enough to be served. Like, we're sitting there, you know, good Midwesterners just waiting forever. And finally I'm
Right.
like, ma'am, can we get a menu? They just ignored us completely. I've never been at such a fancy place before. I remember because we looked terrible. Like, we had gotten off the plane and, you know, it was
Yeah.
Sweatshirt, jeans, and tennies.
Yeah, I think that I think I saw the restaurant when we came in, and I was just like, yeah, I think we'll be trying that breakfast.
That hotel wasn't that nice though. That's what's so crazy. It wasn't like amazing. It was cool, but it wasn't
No.
like
No.
it wasn't 17 stars.
Like the Hilton looks like that now.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and, you know, we get to our room and there's like the swag bag with like 2 little toys and like a letter, which mine was all like crinkled up because I don't know who they must have been thrown in the backseat of a car or whatever.
Yeah.
So I have it framed in its still crinkled form.
Well, I think we crinkled it.
Probably got crinkled in the flight and
Suitcase.
stuff, but they must have been not pulling in that much money with Wii U. Let's just say.
Well,
These guys.
Oh, those guys, yeah.
I think we opened all our stuff.
Gave
I
to
don't
the
even
kids.
17
remember.
got what? Like hoodies,
They all got a 3DS
lanyards.
and their T-shirt and hoodie, but you could buy those T-shirt and hoodies. Like
Oh, you
those
could,
weren't
okay.
special. They didn't make we got the special shirts, so that's like the one thing we got.
True.
And I've got my unopened cutout.
Well, they didn't sell your hoodies either, right?
We didn't get hoodies.
Oh.
We got a T-shirt. That's it.
What's
Yeah.
the Nintendo hoodie you have then?
2017.
Oh, somebody gave you,
I
or you
bought
bought it. Okay.
You have a
Um,
standee as well from NWC.
Chicago. Yep. It's
Oh.
unopened. It's in a box.
Yeah.
Got ours in there too.
Mine's open. I had it up for like a day or two, but it's still in the
We
box
should put
now.
it back up.
And I wonder, like,
I didn't know you had a standee.
yeah, it's. I just hope it does. I mean, it's up above. It's in the basement on the top shelf, so no water will ever get to it. But and in the years since, like I said, the Walter Day, not Twin Galaxies, whatever you call it, they gave us trading cards. So we went out to Iowa to meet up with them and did that same year. And then we went out for their wedding, and then we went out for another week. And they've come to Ohio a few times for my silly little hexadecathlon, which you were a 2-time champion of.
I drink out of the mug like once a month.
We still
What?
have the wedding pictures with the belt.
Yep.
Our photographer was like, "What?
What?
Like, don't worry about it."
Like, we're paying you. Don't question
You
it.
guys
Yeah.
you guys dumped Legos out into a bowl at your wedding. How is that like the weirdest thing
You
that
can't do a sand ceremony. That's lame. Legos
Right?
are way better.
Uh-huh. More
I
useful.
love just all our family's faces. We're like, "What's happening right now?"
What is this?
I was kind of towards the back, so I couldn't really see. I like heard. I was like, that sounds like Lego. And then I kind of like leaned around, and I was like, oh, it's Lego. What? clanking into the.
We were gonna build something, but we realized it would take too long, and the coordination would make our marriage look bad because it wouldn't have worked good.
I built a worm. I just took all the round pieces and put them
He
together.
was like building a worm, and I'm like, just put it in the thing.
So.
And you know, we've hung out at Midwest Gaming Classic a couple times, and I feel weird doing this podcast because like I'm really into it, and some days getting guests is hard, and having a really good conversation is hard, but then you know when I actually do it, I feel a lot better. So thanks for like doing this. And we've tried this a couple times before I started this particular version of the show, and I probably have those recordings somewhere. It never worked out, or the quality was terrible, or I didn't have the show put together yet.
Or like the breakdown that we did right after.
Oh, that one I got.
WC.
I think I'm gonna repost that on the actual anniversary. I have to find that file and just repost it.
Like you never put it up.
I put it up on the old podcast, but 10 didn't pay the bill and it got pulled. So I got to repost that. That's I forgot. After the tournament, a few of us went to our room and we all talked about the exact day, like in order, the events when everything was still fresh in our minds, and we all still liked each other.
Yeah, because you just threw the iPad in the middle of the bed.
Yeah, I just threw the computer in the middle of the bed to turn it on. Let's go.
I don't even remember who was there.
Barney was there. Jax was there. They were there.
Packy and his sister.
Pat was there.
We kept trying to call John numbers to get him down to the room, and he was just like, ah.
That's all right. we had a good crowd of people.
He's like, So.
And you know what a whirlwind since I'm getting paid to commentate Tetris now. I mean it's just like what? How does that happen? Getting people it opened up some weird doors. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
It definitely was a mind-blowing experience. It's something I never thought in a million years would have happened. And I mean, I've done a lot of stuff in my life, and like this is definitely in the top 3.
As it's the best day of my gaming life. That's the way. We were watching this guy watch old World Series, and somebody just won. And they're interviewing this executive, and he's saying, "This is my best day of my life in sports." So you know how they normally have to say, "Besides my kid being born," like that's what you got to just put that qualifier at the end, and it makes perfect sense.
The best day of my life in gaming.
There it is. Don't have to compare it to marriage. Don't have to compare it to childbirth. Funerals of boss I didn't like. Oh wait, that's
and it inadvertently led to Game Grumps playing Wacky World of Miniature.
Yeah, see, that's my contribution to pop culture. Was sending Aaron a damn CDI and Wacky World
and all those bad Zelda games that came from that.
Oof.
What was I saying though? I was just.
Best day of your gaming life.
Yeah, just
led to many things.
And let's. This is a weird 180. Go back to the beginning, but
your face is like totally black.
Hair. You weren't like you're what? You're early 30s now.
Yeah, 32.
32. Okay, so yeah, it's quarantine. You don't know anymore.
Yeah.
You're 31. You haven't turned 30.
Oh, I turned 32 this year. Sorry. Years are just kind of years at this point.
Wait, no. Oh my gosh, I don't know.
88. Tim's 88.
88, yeah.
So you'll be 32 this year at some point. When's
Have
your
you
birthday?
had your birthday yet?
September.
August.
No.
Okay.
All right. So you'll be 32 in September. Okay. Assuming we're still
I had
here.
to think about it.
Assuming there are such things as birthdays.
Yeah,
then.
it's just marks on a cave wall by the end of this quarantine shit. So like, did you play old school Nintendo growing up? Like what's your?
Yeah.
So go ahead.
It's my mom's favorite story to tell. I don't know. So apparently I was so addicted as a young kid that I was really difficult to potty train, and my mother potty trained me with Super Mario Brothers, and she refused to take the game away if I didn't go to the bathroom in the potty, and she claims I was potty trained in 12 hours. So
That works.
but I mean, I've been playing games since I can remember. NES, Super Nintendo, Atari.
So I'm just trying to think, like, in 1990 I was 13, so that was like peak Nintendo time. But you're 2, so you're not going to like a.
He was potty trained.
He was potty trained. But
Yeah,
you're
I was
saying-
potty trained. I was potty trained and beating Super Mario Brothers 1. Maybe not World 8, but the first couple levels.
for sure.
While you were competing in Cincinnati.
Right. Not well, but well.
He was competing in his bathroom.
Right. And like, so Mal, how do you put up with somebody who like collect? This is good for both of you. Like, how does when you're dating or the video game collecting thing ever come up? And what point do you just say give up or join in? Put up with it. What's your level of? I know when we go game shopping, she doesn't go with us, but you come with us, and you're just as into it as he is, and you're checking databases just like I do.
Well, so we actually sort of started hanging out because of video games. So we've always known each other because we've been in the same class, and our class is like 40 people, so small. But we kind of met actually because I kicked his butt in 007 GoldenEye on the N64 at an after school, drugs aren't cool event. So, we were hanging out just, and I'm like, oh, you guys are playing 007. Well, I can beat you in that. And he's like, yeah, right. And I did. He says it was legit, that he didn't let me win.
Only person in our area to beat me.
I can't beat him now. Like, I'm terrible now. But at that time, like, I was like, it was probably was junior high, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Junior high, I was like really good at that
When
game.
it hurts the most.
What?
When it hurts the most.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
you beat them. It's like, okay. But like when you're that fragile.
So after that, I made her play Half-Life 1v1 and killed her 25 times to 0 with a crowbar. So, I mean, I got my revenge.
So anyway, it wasn't good. It was very bad. But we
Still
kind of
hurts,
started
obviously.
hanging
He doesn't
out
come
after
back.
that.
That doesn't sting.
But I was always pretty big into video games. I started on Nintendo, Super Nintendo, mostly Nintendo, and PlayStation, I guess. So I actually had a pretty extensive collection of my own already. And then when we really started hanging out, we hung out at LAN parties, like a lot of Halo and what am I trying to say? Half-Life and, things like that. So we really kind of met because of video games. And then when we moved in together, he started to find out how many I actually had, which wasn't really a lot in comparison to what we have now, but I had probably more Nintendo games than he did.
That's because my mom sold my Nintendo.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
We all have that story.
But I was never like into collecting. Like it's not that I wasn't interested in it. I just didn't even know it was a thing that people did.
then you came out to Ohio.
And then we came to Ohio and suddenly our world expanded greatly.
You saw the possibility and went, yeah, we got to fix up the basement now, don't we?
Well, I don't think we actually started collecting past like Nintendo and I think Xbox and PlayStation at the time because those were the main consoles I had growing up. And so I didn't know what a Sega CDI was. I didn't know what a Philips CDI or Philips Sega CD or CDI was. A 3DO, like I knew none of this, and so like meeting you guys really opened those doors, and obviously have broken into a massive collection in the past 5 years.
Yeah, he told me when we first started collecting, like actually seeking out games, he's like, "We're only gonna do Nintendo." Like he told me that, and I believed it. It lasted maybe a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, it's not that I don't go. So I don't mind going game shopping, but the whole like all day, like 5 stores, and it's not that I'm not interested. It's just I have no idea. Like in my brain, you have everything, and I don't know. Like there's no way I can even begin to like have the memory that you have for like what you don't have.
Yeah, it's slipping away.
So I just stand there in the store and I just like glaze over because I can't help you look for things you don't know because I don't know much about games because I was a very, 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 very casual gamer. Like we had Dr. Mario and the kids I babysat for had Bomberman and Zelda and Duck Hunt and Mario. And then later I got like a roommate had a Saturn. So we played a dumb Sonic game with the little Tamagotchi.
Dreamcast, yep.
Dreamcast. Sorry, not Saturn. Dreamcast. So we played the Sonic game that had the Tamagotchi and the controller.
Oh, Sonic Adventure.
Yes, a little bit. And then they would make me play Resident Evil, and we had a PlayStation, so I would play Silent Hill, play Parasite Eve, Resident Evil. They would make me play it because I screamed the least while playing. And everybody else would watch while I played. And then we had Final Fantasy 7 and 8 and 9 and 10, but I didn't like the cartoony one because the cues freaked me out. And then, so I was just like super like all over the place casual like gamer. And so like, you know, when I started talking to you and you were like, yeah, I collect games. I collect video games. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And like, I like playing video games. And then I walked into your apartment and I saw, and I was like, oh, you collect. Oh, okay, that's cool. Because it was all like Atari, and like I knew looking at the collection that it was all stuff he was picking up at, you know, flea markets and
I had a 1-bedroom apartment at this point too, so it was pretty pathetic.
So what size was the collection back then?
At that point, you had just hit 2,000 games.
I was at like 2,000 to 3,000, yeah.
And so, or yeah, you were about to hit 3. I think when you were still in that apartment, you hit 3.
Right.
And so I was like, that's a lot. But, you know, whatever. I know they're not, you know, I know enough to know that, like, the working design stuff was the ones you were throwing down serious money for. And, like, not, most of that was
They were so cheap back then, too.
Right.
That's why I got into it. It was garbage for most people.
Late 90s, early 2000s. Like, yeah, I mean, it was 50-cent Atari carts, honestly. And so, and then, you know, once we got the apartment that had more room to grow, the basement.
Right.
And it like just kept going, and I was like, oh, we're hitting 5,000 now. oh, we're at 6. What?
Yeah.
So, but then again, you know, you're not bankrupting us. We're not. Most of the stuff that you have is being used for the leagues and the tournaments.
Yeah, these days I'm not.
So, and that's something that is like things that you're doing. Like it's a thing, and you're traveling.
That's why we have weird, cool friends. It's
earning a little bit of money, and you know, so it's not. I mean.
Yeah. But
I've always been one of those people that's like, if you're with someone and you are like, well, I really like them, but I wish they'd stop watching football, then maybe you don't really want to be with them.
Yeah.
Like, because that's a big part of them. So, like, if you're with someone and they're like, you need to stop doing this thing, maybe that's not the right person for you. So I'm not going to be the one who's like, and like he's the one, he says more often, I need to just sell everything. I need to just sell everything. There's no point. And I'm just like, really? Think about that. Really? No, don't.
I don't have time anymore. You guys stream a lot. What are you streaming these days? Like what?
So most of the time I'm streaming is just PC games. It's just easier for me, but they actually picked up something that might be fixing that. I might be doing some more retro stuff. I found a HDMI converter called RetroLink 2X.
RetroTink, yep.
Tink, yes.
You just
And
I just picked one up too.
yeah, and apparently it's really good. I watched a review, and I want to start doing world record high scores again. I really love doing that, and I had a blast doing them. But I'm just, with the setup I have for streaming, it doesn't work to have a CRT. Which I love the one we have, but it's just too big to put over on the desk.
We gave you a we gave you a PVM for a while.
We use it for our cleaning process. It's actually so when we clean, she cleans games, and then I test them and put them in the system, and we actually use that TV to test all the games we get in.
Yeah, and I have a niece and nephew that are about 10, and I showed them the CRT, and I said, you got to try this out. You got to try this Nintendo, and they're like, wow, this thing is huge. And they were like super bad at it. It lasted like 3 minutes, and they were over it. But it was kind of fun to just torture them with it a little bit. And they're like, wait, so we have to start all over?
Yeah.
If we die? I'm like, yep. It was adorable.
Did they see the video of you in NWC, or did they? That's like old news now.
Yeah, so like all of our family, our closer family, watched it live when he was there, and this was like the moment, I think, when my parents realized how good at video games Tim really is. Like, I don't think they understood the gravity of it. It's like, right. when I told them that he was going to the World Championships, I think it was this like switch in their minds, like, oh, like kind of a big deal. It was adorable. But yeah, the streaming thing is something that really Tim started doing right after this.
Right.
And that really took off, and that's something that, not a lot of people that don't game understand at all. Like, they don't get it, but I've really enjoyed it.
It's a weird world. It's that streaming world. Like, there's, and you have to be good, but you don't have to be good. You have to have that entertaining, engaging personality or whatever. And it's people make a living off it. So it's the weirdest thing, but.
Well, and the biggest thing for me is the community. I might not be the best at the game, but I have fun playing the game. And getting to share those experiences with friends, family, close people. That's what the streaming should be about. It's not making the money, living as a millionaire. It's enjoying the games that I grew up with and getting to share new experiences with other people.
Yeah. And you have to be good at actually reading the comments as you're playing.
Oh, yeah. I was messing with Dr. Mario yesterday, and you guys jumped on. I didn't even see that you'd said anything until I was done with my round.
Well, and that was the thing, was that like he saw that one of us said something about 8:30, and so he just like all of a sudden logged off and came upstairs, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
I was gonna ask you about converters last night, and then like I changed websites to like look at them, and I come back and like you were gone. I was like, oh, okay.
He came upstairs, and I was like, "You didn't finish your game. What are you doing?" And he was like, "Well, we're gonna do this at 8:30, right?" And I was like, "No, tomorrow." We just had this discussion in chat, and he's like, "Well, I can't read chat while I'm playing." I'm like, "But if you stop playing, you can scroll back and read the chat." And he's like, "I just saw 8:30, so I came upstairs." It was like 8:30 tomorrow. Between 8 and 8:30 tomorrow.
Yep, not a streamer. I don't know how those people do it.
It takes some getting used to.
And I mean, I'm not like a jerk, but at the same time, I'm not like, hey, I just don't have that welcoming aura about me either.
The overactive personality.
Yeah, I don't. I'm totally not that guy. So it's fun to set up and do every once in a while, but I'm struggling right now setting up an OBS stencil for the Dr. Mario tournament. That's probably not going to happen this year, but because I got a retro tank too, so I can use the nicer screens and not have to do a regular analog input. Now it'll double the thing and look halfway decent on a stream.
Oh, nice.
But I got to like stencil out because on Dr. Mario, there's so much of the screen that's not used. So I want to have like the cameras in the background have the play fields, but I got to like push those together and cut out all the extraneous stuff, and I'm not good with that level of Photoshop or whatever I need, or Illustrator or whatever, to make those cutouts look super nice. So it's
Well,
yeah,
and I mean, if it doesn't happen this year, that just gives you more time to do that.
I know I got time, but quarantine life.
Yeah.
So backtracking again, let's talk about the qualifier rounds. Kind of give your story on that. So this is you qualified in Minnesota.
Yeah, Maple Grove, Minnesota.
So how far of a drive is that for you guys?
Oh, 3.5, 4 hours.
Okay.
So closer.
So you could have taken your pick between that or Chicago, right? That was
Chicago is like
Further.
5 hours, 5 or 6
5
hours for us.
Yeah. So it was 6 for us, but just to get to Chicago. So you went to Minnesota. You go there often, or is that like a?
There's
your
the,
city
the Mall of
descriptions?
America is there, and I mean I've been there like 10, 20 times, but we don't regularly go there, so it was an area we knew about.
And going in, how much of the NWC remix have you played, and were you good at it? What were your expectations going in? Did you have a? Sorry. What were your expectations? Were you going in thinking you had a legit shot at this, or was this let's just try it to have fun?
I thought I had a legit shot, but I knew that if anybody could get over 1 million, I was out, because I was terrible at Dr. Mario. The first 2 I could get down super fast, had no problems whatsoever. Right. But Dr. Mario, I just couldn't comprehend the combo buildups. I could get 2, maybe 3, but to get the 5s and 6s just wasn't happening. And so we got there pretty early. I practiced 2-3 weeks straight. That's all I was playing. My highest in practice was 1.2 maybe.
Wow.
And yeah, like I said, I couldn't do the combos. I could clear the boards fast. I just wasn't good at setting up 5 or 6 combos. But we were first 25, 50 people in line in Minnesota. And when we got to the front, they told us it was a one-time entry. We had to fill out a form, got a wristband, and then walked us through this big line in the back of Best Buy to these tables. And we watched a few people play. I think the first score went up was 300,000, 500,000. And then we got pushed up in. Mallory was standing behind me because they had us at a long table, and then it was all roped off. And so the players are on one side, and then everybody else on the back side. And we stepped up. We had met 2 people randomly in the group and just started talking. They were super nice. We were exchanging strats. We got pictures with them. I think we even played Mario Party in the parking lot to as a break.
Did you camp out?
No, we got there at 6:30 and the doors opened at 10.
Oh wow! So you left at 2 a.m.
Well, we stayed the night before. We got a hotel. We were only a couple blocks away. But when the time came to play, something clicked. I don't know what it was. I finished Mario 1 record time, Mario 3 record time, no mistakes. Got into Dr. Mario, cleared the first board super fast, and all of a sudden I look at my second board and I've got 2 blues, 2 yellows, and 2 reds viruses all together. And I was able to chain all 6 of those together.
There it is.
And that hit, and then I can't breathe. I'm not breathing. I could tell Mallory's watching me from behind, and she's just stressed out as well. And I ended with 2.4. And walked out the door, and we called 60 times throughout the day to check the score.
Because they didn't tell us if we needed to stay.
Right.
So we knew we could only enter once at this location, but they didn't tell us if we needed to hang out to find out if he won. And so we stayed. We just hung out in the mall all day.
Because you had to check out of your hotel then, right?
Yeah, we had already checked out that morning. But we went, and it was the weirdest day because we did that right away, and then we went to Mall of America. And we mini golfed. We played 18 holes of mini golf at the top of the mall. We went to Lego World.
Was it wacky?
It was wacky. It was not Gene Levy wacky, but it was close.
Okay. Did you hit the stroke on it?
We went to Hooters, had lunch.
You went
They
to
have the best chili dogs, you guys.
Chili dogs and wings, honestly. And then we're leaving, and there was sumo wrestling in the middle of the mall. We just hear all this yelling and screaming, and we get to the balcony and look over, and it's just these two big guys just pushing on each other.
Like real sumo wrestlers? Or
Real
just,
sumo
like,
wrestlers.
Not inflatable suits.
Nope, not inflatable. Real sumos.
What the? I didn't heard this story.
Yeah, and so
It was the coolest thing ever. It was like the best day. I was like, there's no way there's real sumo wrestling right now. And it was real.
I was just waiting to like wake up from a dream. And I think the store closed at 8 or 8. Yeah, I think 8 was the end of the competition, and we called it 7:30. And they're like, we can't tell you who it is. We just tell you the score is 2.4. And I was like, okay, well, that's my score. Like, that's mine. So we drove back, and we stood there till like 8 o'clock hit. I could see it was my score. And I approached the table, and I was like, so what's going on? And they're like, are you Tim? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, well, you won. And I was like, no way. And so like the lady was actually from Des Moines, from Iowa as well. And she gave us a standee. I don't know why. I think did you ask for one?
Yeah.
She gave us
Mal's
in the box
looking out for
standee.
Keep that
I got a
lady.
lanyard. And we just talked to them for like 45 minutes. And she's like, you'll be getting a phone call in the next couple of days. And she's like, congratulations. And everybody gave me a hug and shook my hand. Just couldn't believe it.
How long did you have to wait for that phone call? Because they told me a couple days too, and it was like 5 or 6 days.
Yeah, I think so the tournament the qualifying was what, Saturday?
Like Saturday Memorial Day weekend.
And I don't think I got a call until Thursday.
Yeah.
I was working in a factory at the time, and I remember seeing my phone ring with an unknown number, and I ran to the back corner of the factory behind some tires and like answered my phone so I didn't get caught. And trying to be like super quiet, and the guy's like, are you even excited? I'm like, I'm very excited.
I'm just at work.
Yeah.
And no one can know I'm on the phone.
What'd they think at the factory about this? This is a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, so like a lot of them weren't, I should say a lot, none of them were gamers. Like I worked with guys in their 40s, 50s that probably called it all Nintendo and had no idea what it was, but they were excited for me. They one of the girls in the reception made me a Dr. Mario cake, and they actually put it in their newsletter for the company that I was going to LA to compete playing video games.
So does that mean that is that the only one that actually stuck to the one play rule?
I don't know. Did any like that's the weird part about that thing is that it was. I mean, I told my story before, but I did my first try. I got a 1.98, which was good, but not. It was first place, but it fell. Like somebody got like a 2.4 later in the afternoon, and I went back and asked to run a second time, and they said sure. And then I got my 2.97, and it was first place, but they were like, "Oh wait, we can't do this." And then they were.
But you had already seen that other people were going more than
right.
once.
I didn't like force my way in there. I just asked, "Can I play again?" They said sure, so they let me play again, and like other cities were allowing it. We were following up on Twitter the whole thing, so they found out other cities were allowing replays, so that they ended up taking mine because of that. But it was just one of those weird, because I think the official rule was like the first 700 people in line get to play, and from what I've seen, like most locations, after a few hundred, there was no traffic at all.
Right.
So so they changed it in 17, basically saying if you want to play again, get back to the back of the line, which is the way it probably should have been. But
and we found out our store did allow multiple retries when we got back. There was kids that were constantly going through the line.
Yeah, which is good. But like, that's so weird that you got your one shot and you got the 2.4 like that, and like.
Well, and the other thing that's funny now.
And you won't even play that game anymore, right?
I hate it.
That's the thing, though, that's funny now is these winning scores were all like 1 point something, 2 point something.
Yep.
And now, and that was the thing. Like everybody thought that numbers was like he had to have cheated. He had to have. This can't be. He can't have.
No,
he can't have scored 11
I
million.
believed him once I met him, but you just didn't know.
Once you met him.
Yeah.
But just looking at the scoreboard on your little screen, and you're like.
Because the name Numbers sounds like a hacker name.
You're like.
And it is possible to like hack a score in that apparently.
3 million, 4 million, 7 million,
and then 11.
And then 11. Like, he had twice the score as most of the people on the top 10.
Right. And then his answer when he asked him how I did, he said, I see things. That was.
But like now you're getting 7. You had 17.
Yeah. So
it's like, it's just so funny that like.
But that took 5 years. And
right.
Playing that game stupid number of times that nobody cares. And
I mean, I have to be honest, like I knew you were good, but I did not think in a million years that you were gonna get through. I just thought, we gotta try, and I knew you'd do well, but it just didn't compute in my head that was possible. Because like it was really awkward. Like it was a great year for us. It was really awkward timing. We were like in the middle of this huge musical I was directing when this happened. Like, and so it was like a lot of work to go. I had just started a new position and had to like get a bunch of time off that I didn't have, and like Tim found out about the possibility of a new job while we were on the airplane heading out there. Like it was the craziest year we have ever had, and it was just nuts. Like 2015 was the year of our time, I guess.
Yeah, it was a good year.
Well, and the thing is that like you had put up like 3 or 4.
My best score, I was hovering in the top 8 for a while, but then I'd been pushed down.
Right.
Because my top score is like 4.5.
Right. You were kind of blocked there in like the 4 million range for a long time. So when he went, I was like, I think he's probably got a chance. But I'm usually like, I try not to get hopes up about stuff because the stuff I get my most hopes up about never happens. So I'm just like, yeah, he's going to Chicago to do something, whatever. Yeah, so I stayed home and like you went with Adam and Katie and like went and had delicious food, and I was all jealous that y'all got to go and stuff, but like so I saw posts and stuff, and I saw him put up the score. I saw Katie put up the score, and I didn't hear anything for a really long time. And so I was like, well, should I call? Should I not call? And I think at one point I broke down and I called, and I could just, like, his voice was kind of shaking. And he's like, I have the high score right now, and it's almost done.
Yeah.
But we're not sure, like, what's going on because we're not supposed to play again. So we don't really know what's going on. Because I was, like, following it on Twitter, too, and I was like, they're playing multiple times in other cities. Like, I see this going on because I had kind of seen the drama with
California. Texas. It was
Texas. Jackson.
PSP.
Jackson. Yes, he left, and then Jackson. Yeah, he left because he didn't think he could play again, and then he can't. Yeah, and so I was like watching all this stuff, and I was like, "What is going on?" And then I'm just sitting here at home, like, I don't know. Nobody's calling me. And I think your mom was like trying to find out what was going on, and I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, we went back to the hotel and slept.
Right.
So like, there were no updates for like 4 hours because we were in a parking lot the night before. We slept in a parking lot, and they turned off the lights, and it was raining. It was the most awful day, but it was amazing.
Yeah. So they go back and they take a nap, and I'm here sitting here like,
well.
Plus it's Chicago, so it's an hour behind.
And we were going to drive home that night, but because Adam and Katie had a hotel because she had points from whatever, so they had a free room for the night. So we just stayed in their room. I slept on the floor.
But yeah. So, and then he was freaking out the whole week because they weren't calling. And I was like, they're probably rounding up the celebrities or whatever. Like,
that was the other thing too. We thought that the 8 invitees would have been like the people on the leaderboard maybe. But it was actually
that's why he kept trying to get top 8.
Celebrity. We had no idea. They just said they were going to have 8 invitees. They didn't say how or why or who. But
that's true. Because I was like, well, what if you're in top 8 and you win
Right.
I was like, that's probably why it's taking them so long, because they're trying to figure out the logistics. But no.
No, it was just they just took their time. They had Wii U money at the time. It wasn't a lot. They had
hadn't hired anybody to take care of that phone tree.
oh boy. That's the worst part, because this was going to be the year we were going to go up to Nintendo and try to get a tour of the place, and that's not going to happen for a long time now.
Nope.
So,
Yep.
Especially since all of them are working remotely anyways.
oh, I'm sure, but even when they're going to restart things, they're not going to let visitors in for shit like that. That's
Yeah.
I'm not going to go back to my regular. Even when they open it back up, I work phone support. I'm not going to talk through a mask, so I'm just going to stay home.
And the buses, yeah.
But yeah, just the anticlimactic 5-year anniversary. I was really hoping to do a tournament in Pittsburgh with the game, and I was good, but we'll do it eventually. And we'll have we got to do something. Still got to get. I only have not met up with 2. I haven't met up with Jackson. I haven't met up with Mr. Blarney yet. Everybody else I've given my repro cards to are gold cartridges that they should have given us, and they didn't.
Yeah.
So I still have to give those 2, and I want to do that in person. I feel that that's the only way to do it. So we'll figure something out. But
So send a random Snapchat to Jackson.
it's been a heck of a ride for sure. But I'll go ahead and end this recording. And thanks for coming on the show, Tim and Mal, and thanks for hanging out with me, Linda.
No problem.
Thanks for putting up with my stupid hobby.
It's still one of the best days of my life. I look at it every day. My shirt is hung up in my office on the wall here on the left, next to the one that was autographed by everybody. And
Except
it's something that I look at every day.
Except Shire.
Yeah. I mean, the name's
I
on
don't know
there.
what you're talking about.
That's the other part that sucked, though. It's like I had that Sharpie and a copy of Super Mario Brothers in my pocket, and I could not get 5 feet over to get Miyamoto to sign it. It's just one of those missed opportunities. That's never going to happen again. But.
Well, but I mean, you got to read the room, and the room read was "Don't bother him." So
No.
I understand.
For sure, it was a thing.
Although you did get Steve to get you Alexi's signature
at Portland,
for Tetris.
Yeah.
So
I've got
because Steve had no shame, and he was just like,
well,
"Hey, we signed this."
Yeah. It was funny though. I got that poster signed by everybody because I knew this stuff was going to be valuable and rare, unique type of stuff. And Hungry Box was in the room, and I had no idea who he was. That's how old and out of touch I am. Did you know who he was?
No.
Okay, that's good.
I still
feel
don't know.
I feel a little bit better.
I don't know who he is.
But he's like, "Did you want me to sign that too?" And I'm like, not really, dude. Thank you though. I was a dick.
Well, but did you say
He wasn't a competitor, so it's like I didn't know what.
I think you said, was I there? I think you said
this was in the morning, I think,
Oh.
but still, I just felt weird because I didn't know who he was, and he was like, okay, no, but no, like, no, thanks. If you're not in the show, I don't, not really. I just want the competitors to sign this particular thing, but thank you, man. I was like, that was weird. I don't ever have that conversation again.
should I Kevin Pereira sign it?
I actually got a picture with him after.
Huh?
Yeah. I got a picture with him. I loved G4 and watching his show. I watch the show like every day.
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
like after the contest, like, "Can I get a picture with you?" And he's like, "Absolutely not, man." And then I was like, "Oh, okay." And he goes, "I'm just joking." And then
No, we were watching Attack of the Show and stuff, so we knew who he was. I was like, Kevin Pereira.
Yeah, because G4 had been gone for like a couple of years at that point.
Yeah, they had. Yeah.
So now he's not even getting that gig.
I'm like, oh, this is what Kevin Pereira is doing.
And everybody with Nintendo was cool, and
Yeah.
like even Reggie put his like hand on my shoulder in a minute during the back, and like. So during rehearsal, do you remember rehearsal? They took us on stage, told us what we were gonna do, and walked us back out again. And I start like, "This is awesome!" Like, were you like, "Shut the fuck up, weirdo"? What were you thinking?
no, at that point I had just high-fived Reggie, and that's all I was thinking about.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, I just wanted to be 13 again for a day, because
Right.
you're getting there. You know what? You can't be young anymore, so you get those moments and you do it, and then you get creaky and gray. So, Mal wore a shirt. I should have worn my shirt. What am I thinking?
I was really hoping we could have a repeat in 2017. I was pretty bummed out that didn't work out, but it was still really fun to compete for that.
You were top 10, weren't you?
Yeah.
I was for a hot minute.
Hell
and then
yeah.
I wasn't.
Did you try in 15?
No, not in 15, but I did in 17. And I was doing really well for a while, and then everybody figured all the tricks out, and I didn't do well anymore. But Tim held out for a while.
I was in the top 5 for a while. I think I ended 6th.
Okay. Was Minnesota's second week?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you?
Hopping.
Yeah. Did you consider jumping to another city after that?
No. It after I thought my time was decent, but after we started playing there, it wasn't going to get there. I couldn't do the wall hop and grind across the wall, and that was like the 5-second saver. And I think the second day we had one kid show up, the guy that won it in our region, showed up and blew everybody's time out by 10 seconds.
Nice.
And so we were just like, nope, we're done.
Did you talk to him at all? Like, hey, I won in 15. Yeah, cool.
I actually got noticed in the crowd. One of the guys that was standing next to me, I friended him on Facebook. He like noticed me right away in the crowd and was like, "Didn't you go to the 15?" I'm like, "Yeah." And so like we talked about that there. And then I hung out with him for a little bit after the end, along with the guy that actually won it. Just kind of traded stories, talked about what to expect.
Didn't they give you like a gift certificate or something because you were getting married as a wedding present?
They did, yes.
Oh, yeah, I forgot
They
about
gave
that.
us a $50 Best Buy card.
Yeah.
The staff running the thing.
Yeah.
See, that's all Mal.
It was actually a ridiculous day because so it was really close to it was the year we got married, and it was close to the wedding, and so I was really nervous about waiting outside in line and getting terrible suntan lines. So I was like being really careful about that, and then we bought Mario Rabbids, and I was like, oh, I better go put that in the trunk. And then I managed to lock the keys in the trunk of the car when I went and did that, because I just wasn't thinking, I was just like, I got to get this in the trunk and I got to get back in the shade. And I don't know, priorities. So I locked the keys in the trunk, and I really debated whether to tell Tim about it for a while. And then I figured out he'd find out eventually. So I went like just from store to store. It was like in this rural part of the city. So it wasn't like downtown. There was just a strip mall. And so I went like from store to store looking for a wire hanger, and nobody has those anymore. FYI, they're all plastic. So we ended up having to pay like $200 to have a locksmith come out and unlock his car. But the whole time we were just standing in line, just playing. So at least we had something to do. But that was our memorable moment from that one.